We have the sexiest DJs, the sexiest voices, the best tunage around. www.thepowerofdublin.com. Can you feel it? 88.1, it's the power.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, this brother James Yehudah?
Yeah, what's good, brother?
What's good, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Trying to maintain.
I hear you, man. I hear you, bro. Just wanted to kind of dialogue with you a little bit about this issue. Can two people walk together unless they agree? And, man, I was sitting here and just basically going over some things, and this is the first question that I want to ask you. Can two people be married and one come into the truth, the knowledge of the truth, while the other one remains in Christianity or maybe Islam or the Kemet religion and remain together? What's your aspect on that?
Truly, I don't really think they can, but sometimes people come, in truth in their own time, because I have a few friends that's Muslim, and I still consider them friends, they hear what I have to say, but at the same time, sometimes they're still stuck in their ways, but at the same time, they can still come to the truth later on, so it really depends more so on the strength of their spirituality, I believe, as far as, dealing with these other nations. If a brother marries a white woman, he's going to be persuaded to follow after her, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really think they can coexist, but it really depends on the person, I think.
Right. Because, I can understand as far as, generally just talking to someone or as far as friends in that, in that nature. But when it comes to marriage or relationship, as far as you're trying to get to know someone, that creates a big problem. And
it really does.
Yeah, I see that. I say that because I myself have experienced that also. It gets kind of hard to coexist when you got one believing in the truth of the word of the Bible, and you got one that believes in the religion. Even though the Bible says one is sanctified through the other, but what happens when the other person decides, I don't want to believe in that, regardless of what you believe? How do you go from being married to someone that that's saying, I would never believe what you believe?
As far as that, honestly, if somebody that still, then I don't really think things will work out, because they already seem to have their mind made up. But for me, prime example, I'm in a relationship with a woman. She's not into church or any of that, but she still celebrated Christmas and different things like that. But slowly, what I can say is slowly that through my direction and me just pushing the truth, that she's slowly starting to come around and starting to get that understanding as well.
Right. But it seems like it's easier to coexist with someone that's not already in a religion than it is than someone that's already adapted to a particular religion such as Christianity.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's like a tough thing, especially too, pretty much my whole family. I'm pretty much the only one, that embracing the truth. Everybody else is doing Christianity. And, as far as my partner, she's not into Christianity, but she's still swaying in and out, So as me and her have been together, slowly and slowly I start to see that the Most High is starting to work on her mind as well.
Right.
So it's more so dealing with diligence. As long as you remain, as people see the light that you have, they will start to become curious, and they will start to gain that understanding. But as far as dealing with, these other nations, there's no possibility that you can find the Most High when you're dealing with, somebody that's not of your nation. You have a less likely chance of them coming into truth with you because it's not meant to be.
Right. Right.
You know, so that's more so what that is.
Right. And, you know, if you look at the world and you look even at the Christian church, and I'm not picking on the Christian church at all, it's just, that's my main religion that I've been in before I came into the truth. And, you know, my question is, why is there such a high divorce rate in the black church, period, as far as Christianity?
Yeah, you know, a lot of these churches, though, they are actually funded through the government, so they're not telling, a lot of these, well, most of the churches, I'm going to say most of the churches, which is down there all, they're not telling these people who they really are. They're just giving them bits and pieces of scripture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not telling these brothers and sisters who they claim to have knowledge and all this and that, but they're not telling these brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, how important it is to keep these laws of the Torah, you know what I'm saying, how important it is to stay within your own race. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these churches are funded by the government, so they're basically going to do what the government wants them to do, which is the same thing Martin Luther King did, which is that mingling is okay. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these churches, they failed our people. They failed us because me too, I grew up Catholic, and then from Catholic, my parents shifted to non-denominational, you know, and from there, as being in church, I never read scriptures for myself. I just went along with what the pastor said. But then I started having situations, you know what I'm saying, that just pushed me to start reading for myself. And as I began reading for myself, you know what I'm saying, to find out I'm an Israelite, you know, at 26, I'm 28 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
I found all this stuff at 26, 25, you know, so it's like, even myself, I'm still pushing myself to make these changes because, you know, I came so late into adulthood. That's why I teach it to my son. My son is 8 years old, and I feel like if I teach it to him now, before he even reached the point that I reached, you know, he will have that understanding that I didn't have as a kid.
Right, right. I think that's a lot of lacking of, you know, spreading knowledge to the younger people of that sense, and, you know, and that's why the generations is getting worse and worse when it comes to morale, because when you really look at it, the adults nowadays really don't know anything themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and, you know, as I grew up, you know, watching the women go to church, you know, most of the men, you know, they stayed at home, and they wanted nothing to do with the church, and I believe a lot of that had a lot to do with, you know, there was a lot of male bashing in the church, you know, because if you have like a general conversation with, you know, any man that don't go to church, and the number one thing they're going to say, it was too much male bashing, even if they didn't know the truth.
Yeah, that's very true. My dad is actually a prime example of what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my dad or whatever, you know, he's used to go to church or whatever, but as time passed, he stopped going. You know, and when I was younger, and even in my teens and a little bit of my adulthood, when I was still partially in Christianity, I couldn't understand, you know what I'm saying, why he stopped going. But then, too, that may have been the Most High pulling him away from that.
Yeah, right. It's a lot of male, you know, I think a lot of male that go to these churches, and when they get bashed and they think, well, maybe they just don't want to know the truth. It's not that, because if you go there and once you come into the knowledge and you're a real man, you start feeling a lot of feminine ways that's in the church, because a lot of I'll put it like this, the roles have been reversed in a lot of cases. The women are taking the men role, and the men are just sitting back not doing nothing. You know?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. The church that I actually came from, you know, before I got here or whatever, I had a female cousin. She was the pastor or whatever, and I noticed a lot of times she would read around the scriptures as far as, you know, woman being silent in churches. She would read around that. And her husband, which is my cousin also, he would be sitting in the pulpit just listening, and something in me just didn't feel right about the position that she placed upon herself.
Right.
You know, and then too, she also ordained the homosexuals to be ministers, you know, and at the time, it's something within me that just didn't feel right, so, you know, I started reading scriptures more and more, And as I began to notice, like, you know, a lot of stuff that she was telling us, it wasn't right. You know, so it's like it played a role in my family because my mom tends to, you know, because she's older, you know, my mom tends to lean towards her. And oftentimes I would have given my mom a scripture, she wouldn't believe it, but then when she would give her a scripture, she was all ears, you know, so it has a lot to do with that brainwashing also.
Yeah, right. And it seems like, you know, no matter how much you actually dig into the truth, and when you're in a relationship with someone, it seems like that person will listen to someone else, you know, faster than they will listen to you. It's not because your words are not credible. It just, I don't know, I don't know whether it's got something to do with the Lynch syndrome, that's separating the man and the woman, because a lot of people don't see how much of an effect that has on our people. And, you know, they'll go listen to, and I don't mean to be in a racist sense or nothing like that, they'll go listen to a white man quicker than they'll listen to their husband or the person they say they love, you know, and that's just something that I just never could understand.
Yeah, that's real true. That's real true. You know, it's like, even my, past relationships, a lot of women I dealt with, when I came to the truth, when I would tell them certain things, they would shut me down. They wouldn't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? But that deals with a lot, too, with that feminism. The feminism that was being pushed. You notice it was only mainly pushed upon our people. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got women now, they read around certain scriptures, you know what I'm saying, but it's more so comfort for themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they follow their own doctrines in their own heart. You know what I'm saying? More so than what the Bible actually says. So they got a mindset of, well, if a man can do it, then I can do it too. But they don't have that understanding that you can't do everything that a man can do. You're not meant to do everything that a man can do, vice versa.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of these women don't understand. They're not. A woman can preach the word to another woman, but when it comes to a man, she's, you know what I'm saying, she's supposed to be submissive. The man is supposed to teach the woman. So it has a lot, too, with these brothers being in Christianity and soaking it up. They just sitting back, letting that woman do the teaching, letting that woman do the leading. And, you know, it got brothers like me just looking at them like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Bible, y'all contradiction what the word says. And then when you tell them about it, they consider you judgmental or, you know, you worshiping another God or anything, you know. So, honestly, I believe more so it deals with the person, their mind, because the heart can think anything. Heart can create evil.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it more so deals with the mindset that a person has. You know, if you got a partner and you with your partner, you tell them, hey, I'm an Israelite, you know what I'm saying, this is that, and they're not willing to hear not even an ounce of the words you say, then I honestly believe that relationship is not going to work out, because while the man is an Israelite trying to keep to the words of the Most High, his partner's out here doing, you know what I'm saying, this Christianity, it messed our people up a lot. You know what I'm saying? A lot. And they're thinking that it distorted. You know, Christianity to me basically is the white man's version of what he thought it was. You know, so when a lot of people are sitting here listening to him and gaining this information, it's kind of distorting the truth. And that's what they're embracing. You know, black people more so will support any other nation except for their own. They will listen to any other nation except for their own, but when it comes to a brother or sister trying to get them truth, they want credentials, they want where you got your sources from and all this and that. But when a brother, you know what I'm saying, but when a white man teaching the same thing or is teaching something, they soak it all up with no questions asked.
Right. You know, and that's true. I saw a lot of that. And I think a lot of reason why that even some women are forced to take certain roles is because we just got to be real about it. A lot of our men have fell off, and we're not doing what we're supposed to do. And it's like we're deciding things that matter, we take a back seat to, and we're pushing the woman up. We're doing the same thing that Adam did. You know, we blaming Eve for everything when it's our responsibility to make sure we keep the laws and statutes of the Most High and make sure our family's doing the same. But because we are in captivity, it's kind of harder to do that now because it has transformed the mindset of a lot of the women. And this is and this is the thing that I love about a lot of women in Israel. When I say a lot of women, that means they exclude some of them because some of them still had a Christian mindset. You know, the thing that I love about a lot of women in Israel, they seem to accept their roles as women, you know, of submission, you know, due to them following the laws and the commandments of the Most High versus the women that are in Christianity. They have, the women in Christianity, a lot of them, I can't speak for all of them, but a lot of them have this mindset of a feminist type of mindset. I don't need no man this, I don't need no man that. You know, they seem to want to push the man out of the picture, you know, and it's like society, Western society have like creeped in to religion, creeped into the Bible, and just twisted the mind of our people. See, there's a lot of things that our women are doing that you would never see that the white man or any other nationality of men, their women will do, because it seems like our people have been attacked to the point where our mindsets are being like, they dumbing us down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's working. You know, you can see it on a daily basis.
Yeah, I definitely agree 100% with that.
Yeah. But, yeah, you go ahead. Oh, you were finna say something?
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you because I see a lot of it all the time. A lot of, especially the church that I had came from, you know, with my cousin, man and female pastor, it would be times the men would be sitting down in the pulpit and they would just be listening to her, and in the back of my mind be like, why y'all not up there teaching?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got your wife up there teaching and you just sitting here, you know what I'm saying, just soaking in everything, but you're not up there, you know what I'm saying? Then it has a lot to do too with the whole form of Christianity placed upon our people for so long. Our grandparents, a lot of them, they pushing Christianity. You know, when in the back of my mind, I say, how can, you know, your basically our grandparents' parents, they didn't teach them what they should have taught them, so they're not going to teach us what they should have taught us.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? It has a lot to do with that whole, just religion and whole. You know what I'm saying? Religion and whole has basically changed the word of God. It's distorted everything. So it's like now, instead of people wanting to research, because really, honestly, you know, dealing with a lot of research or whatever and finding out this information, it scares a lot of people to find out that they was doing something a certain way or living wrong. So they don't want to know the truth.
Right. That's
you know what I'm saying? A lot of them don't want to know the truth because they know what they're doing is wrong. You know, and I even had the word with my cousin, you know, how you a pastor, but you claim to know the word, but you're celebrating Christmas, you know, and that had an effect on, like, even my, right now I'm currently unemployed, you know, whatever, dealing with this situation of unemployment, and I have a son, you know, and my mom's into Christianity, and she seems to think that because right now I'm financially, you know, disabled, that she takes my son to the same church that I came from. You know, so it's like me and her oftentimes will get into arguments because I don't want my son, because I knew how it was growing up as a man into this Christianity stuff, and then later on finding out it was all wrong and it's hard to make these changes.
Right. Especially, you know, when they're supporting like those pagan holidays.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, I try to give it to my son, and then I oftentimes I catch the heat. You know, people call me a devil worshiper or say I'm this and that, but I read from the same Bible they reading from.
Right.
Which shows me that a lot of them are reading around scriptures, and when they read around scriptures, they're doing it to basically block out the truth. You know what I'm saying? They're not reading the whole Bible. They're either reading along in church, or they're reading sections that make them feel good or make it feel like what they're doing is okay.
Yeah. But isn't it funny? Isn't it funny that everything that they don't understand in the Bible is the devil? Christianity teach their people that everything they don't understand is the devil. And they don't really teach them that, you know, to research, to study, you know, have your own mindset. You know, the Bible even tells you to save your own self, you know. But Christianity teaches you listen to what I say and what I say only, and don't question me. That's what Christianity is. And if you teach anything that goes against what they teach, whether it's false or what, they call it the devil. The devil has become their scapegoat when they don't want to hear something. You know, again, this is not bashing them, but it's just some of the things that I myself have encountered in the church. And this brings a big effect on even marriages or relationships or friendships or whatever kind of relationship it is, you know, and this is something that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, it is. It totally is. I think the same thing every day, because most of them, you know, I actually have a lot of friends on my Facebook page that are still into Christianity, but the reason I haven't deleted them yet is because I feel like, you know, like possibly before even the last minute, you know, that these people, as long as we continue what we're doing, these people can possibly find a change that they need to make. But then, too, you have some that already have their mind made up, you know what I'm saying? And it's like they don't understand that the Bible is the main foundation, but you also have other sources that align with the Word that you can research. And a lot of them, they're not researching everything. They're just going along with what the pastor said, and they just go home. But then when you tell them certain information, they have to question it. But then when the pastor told them something, they're all ears. So, you know, a lot of it has to do with the things that came with Christianity. When we came here as slaves or whatever, and they forced this stuff upon us, a lot of it was to break down our families because they didn't want us to have our families strong. They didn't want our families to know the truth. So a lot of the structure of Christianity was more so to break down the black family because they knew who we were when they were bringing us here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I believe a lot of it has to do with them trying to break down that structure of who we are. You know, and then figuring, well, if we can break down that structure of the women, then the women will teach their kids garbage. And the kids will learn garbage, and the kids' kids will learn garbage, and that's pretty much what's happening now.
Right. You know, coming up, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
Yeah, I remember coming up, and I saw my mom, I saw my auntie. You know, back in the day, they was faithful to their men. They enjoyed cooking, cleaning, and, you know, especially if the man brought the money home. You know, that's one thing I can say about my family, my mom and my auntie, and some of the other women back in those days and times. It's certain things they enjoy doing, and they took their role, even though they may not have the information and the knowledge that we have today that we can access. But even if some of them was doing, you know, some things, you know, they didn't put that in front of their kids. It's just some things that my mom would not allow me to see. Unlike a lot of women today, they allow their kids to see everything. They try to be friends with their kids. They don't like to chastise their kids or nothing like that. And when you come into a relationship with someone, you got one person that believes in chastising kids. You got the other person that don't believe in chastising kids. That right there, they don't agree on the subject. So right there, that causes like a big confusion. And the Bible tells you to spare the rod.
Yeah, it does.
You know, and I'm not a big person that say whoop your kids or something like that, but I believe in you should punish your kids because it will come back and bite you if you don't do nothing about their behavior at a young age, you know. Yeah. And it's just certain things women did back then that a lot of women don't do now. And the same thing, we can go vice versa with men. A lot of our men have gotten soft. You know, and the Bible always teaches for the men to be strong. We're supposed to be providers. We're supposed to love our women like we love the church. Even though some women make it hard to do that because of the mindset they have now. Yeah, but here's another thing that I've been looking at. Could it be that a lot of the problems that are also caused because, you know, we come to find out that even the westernized way of marriage is pagan. And if it's pagan, do the Most High really honor that?
Nah, not at all.
You know, and the reason why I say that, if you go to Leviticus 18:3, it says, after the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whether I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinance. It tells us not to do the things of Egypt. But here's the thing, what a lot of people don't know. If you go and look up where the wedding rings come from, it comes from Egypt. It's something pagan for Egypt. I'll even read it to you. And you can go look this up. And it says, the wedding rings, it says, why to believe that in the first example of wedding rings were found in ancient Egypt. Relics dating back as far as 6,000 years ago, including papyrus scrolls, show us evidence that braided rings of hips and reeds being exchanged among the wedding couples. Egypt viewed the circle as a symbol of eternity, and the rings served as signify the never-ending love between the couple. This was also an origin of the practice of wearing the ring on the ring finger of the left hand, which the Egyptians believed to house a special vein that was connected directly to the heart, otherwise also known as Vena or Morris. Now these are ways of Egypt when the Bible tells us do not follow the ways of Egypt. And because of the lack of knowledge of the things that we do, we don't understand that a lot of things we do are from Egypt. Look at the dollar bill. You got Egypt on that. Look at our ways. It's Egyptian. And for someone to say that we don't live in spiritual Egypt now, a lot of people don't believe that. The Bible speaks of that. You know, it's just certain parts of the Bible that we have to understand, that we have to put it in its right context to understand what it's talking about. I mean, our whole culture of what we're living in is based on Egypt and Rome. Mm-hmm. And they don't understand. We're studying their ways, and people don't know that. Mm-hmm. But I encourage everyone to really look and go study where the origins of the wedding ring come from.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's like I said, when they brought us here, they knew who we were, so they know a lot of this stuff is forbidden to us, even as far as eating pork and stuff. They gave it to us because they knew, that's a sin to us. So a lot of this stuff, they know that they have no place in the kingdom, so a lot of this stuff that they're giving to us and want us to do and indoctrinated us with, they know a lot of this stuff is the stumbling block that's holding us back. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff they know was forbidden to us. They gave it to us. And our people, they rather just not research. They rather watch and, participate in everything else. But when it comes down to learning and researching the Bible, they don't want no parts of it because, like I said, a lot of them are afraid to find out what they're doing is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it goes conviction of the heart also. You know what I'm saying? And as far as like the wedding rings, I looked into that too as well. A lot of that started out in Greece and Egypt, different stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But basically it was a time and era when Esau was actually taken into Egypt, and the Egyptians made him not a king, but they made him basically they basically made one of his sons, I think it was Eliphaz, or one of his sons they made like a priest or something, and that's basically when that race mixed in with the Egyptians, so they were able to extract practice because the Egyptians already enslaved us.
Right.
So that mixing in with the Edomite nations and bringing us here into slavery, they put a lot of their ways on us because they knew that they had no place in the kingdom, so they want a lot of us to fall with them. You know what I'm saying? Even like eating the pork and buying the wedding rings and different things like that.
Right.
This country basically makes it hard for you to keep the laws. As much as they can, they will try to fight and make it hard for us to keep the laws in different ways.
Right.
Because they know a lot of their ways is the way of the heathens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it has a lot to do with the foundation of this country and the fact that a lot of these nations, they already know the word. They know they're not guaranteed into the kingdom. They will never see the kingdom. So what they did was they gave us their ways, and they kept pushing it on us. And a lot of our people, they want to be accepted. So in order to be accepted, they basically feel in order to be accepted into this country, they now have to follow the doctrines that the heathens put upon them. So a lot of them, they just, they're basically doing what their plan worked out.
Right. And I know a lot of people are not going to agree with this wedding ring thing because a lot of them are not going to do the research to even find out. But you would be surprised what you find if you do the proper research and you know the scriptures. You're going to realize that we are following a lot of the Egyptian ways. And whether you believe it or not, wedding rings are from the Egyptian beliefs and Egyptian cultures. And we need to get as far away from the land of bondage as possible. And until we do that, we're going to remain in captivity. And besides, the Bible says we're not coming out of captivity until the Most High comes anyway. So no man is going to be able to save us, the best thing for us to do is continue to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High and follow and do it to the best of our ability, and so we can have salvation. If we don't do that, we're going to be doomed. And with that being said, Brother James Yehudah, man, I was honored to speak with you, man, and thank you for your time, man. You have a blessing.
Most definitely. Keep in touch, brother.
Yes, sir. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
That was my brother James Yehudah. Thank you for coming on to the show, brother, and peace and blessing to you. And I want to say this before I get out, that there's a big debate about who is Esau, which we know the Bible says that Esau and his descendants shall not inherit the kingdom. But regardless of who he is, we must understand that we must keep his law, statute, and commandments. We cannot inherit the kingdom without a work. Other than that, this is Razor at 88.1. Thank you.